Hello and welcome everybody to today's masterclass and start of our weekly challenge of our morning routine. Welcome, and I ask you kindly to turn your cameras on because we're going to have a very interactive session today. And to start with, please write your name and where you are from in the chat so we can get to know each other a little bit. And I see Tatiana, it looks like you are on the road or in a train and still taking the class. That is what I call commitment. Very good. So please write into the chat your name and where you are from. And also, I already want to encourage you to have your computer ready. So you're gonna use a Google Sheet later on in order to write down your new morning routine. And we are also going to use it for our accountability tracking. So we have here Jadeep from London. We have Maël from France. We have Julia from Munich. Julia, welcome back. We have Yuri from Madrid. We have Vicky from South Africa. We have Tatiana from Russia living in Munich. So we have a very international audience here. So welcome everybody. We have Sarah from Oslo. Very glad to have you here. So before we go really into the morning routine, I want to set the context a little bit to make the most out of those next 60 minutes. And I want to ask you, how many of you want a breakthrough in your career, or if you have a business, you want to make more income, more money, or you want to achieve any kind of outcome in life? Please raise your hand or write yes into the chat. Yes, thank you. And I also want to ask you, how many of you want to make more time for the things that you love, for the things that are important for you? How many of you would agree that time is our most precious thing, right? Please raise your hand or write yes into the chat. Thank you. And also, how many of you would say that mental health and fulfillment in the process is just as important? And you already get the trick. Please write yes into the chat. Thank you for that. So this is really to set the context for today, because for all of this, a powerful morning routine is key. And as you can see in the title, it's not only gonna be about a morning routine, but also about an evening routine, because we see a good morning starts in the evening before. So my name is Tilman, and I am going to teach you the morning and evening routine mastery today. And it's going to be the kickoff of a 1 week that we're going to spend together in a WhatsApp group, supporting each other with our new routine. So you're going to learn a few things today that I'm going to show you here. So first of all, you're going to learn why morning and evening routines matter, why it is so important. Next, you're going to reflect about your own current routines, right? If you want to change something, we got to know where to start. You're also going to learn some best practices from bright minds, and you can see that as an inspiration and adopt it to whatever fits for you. And then you can really redesign your own morning and evening routines. And ultimately, you're going to commit to executing. And we have a very powerful tool that you're going to use then for the next 7 days in order to track your routines. And I would say it's kind of magic, because if you do this for a few days, you're going to get used to it. You're going to build this habit. And so it's a very, very powerful program that we have for you. And since we're going to spend some time together, I really want to build some context here to make sure that you get the most of this class. So you may have already realized I'm asking a lot of questions. I want you to interact, because this is important also for you to maximize your learning. So I'm going to just spend a few sentences about myself, since we're going to spend some time together. So I'm a certified NLP and Mindset Maps coach. I'm also a trainer and facilitator. I've been in tech for 10 years. I'm a sales lead in cloud computing, in sales, team lead. And also I'm a published author of Success Fundamentals. So all the things that I learned in the last 5 years about personal development, professional development, from the best trainers, coaches in the world. Now I'm a coach and trainer myself. I've put it into this book, into 72 principles of that I say each one can be life-changing. So why am I doing what I'm doing here? And again, there are 3 reasons for that. The first one is I grew up in a small town where people used to tell me you can either have this or you can have that. But over the years, I figured out ways to have this and this and this as well. So there are certain patterns for success, and I'm here to teach you some of those patterns of success. I'm sure that you are aware of many of those, and I can learn from you as well. I think we can all learn from each other, but this is just a set of patterns that I want to give you that can be really life transforming. And ultimately, a good environment is so important for growth. And part of my mission is to create those environments for growth. Another piece that is very important before we jump into the content, we gotta step away from denial. So it starts today with telling the truth about your current morning routine and what you want to change. Also, stop blaming other people. Yes, but I cannot do it because of this, because of that, because of him, because of her. He said, she said. And also, not making excuses. I'm not a morning person. Um, and this and that. So, not making excuses, instead, taking responsibility. This is going to be key. So, starting with the truth, taking responsibility, and being very proactive. So, I also want to show you the framework in which we are navigating here. So, this is actually part of my success fundament of my success habits group coaching program. So, it's a 12-week program, and this is one session. It's quite the same session that I'm providing to my participants as well, one out of many. So the participants start with setting goals, getting an accountability framework, getting an outcome-based organization system, and then they are going to move through 5 phases: mindset mastery, defining their purpose and mission, prioritization, plannings and routines, productivity and focus, and ultimately self-leadership and accountability. And you can guess where the morning and evening routine fits in this framework. And this is, of course, here in the prioritization, planning, and routines area. So this is where we are in the field. And you can see this framework, whether you continue to work with Bright Minds or not, as an inspiration, because these are all areas that are crucial for your personal development. So going into the routines now. And I want to start basically with 2 choices that you have. So choice number 1 is snoozing the alarm 3 times. Then first thing, picking up the phone, scrolling through social media for 10 minutes, then grabbing a croissant, rushing to work, and spending the first hour of the workday going through emails. Now I want to ask you, is that a very proactive way to start the day? Is it a yes and no? It's a no, right? So that's not a very proactive day. So what would be a better way to start the day? And I illustrated this here. So getting up early after a good quality sleep, making the bed, then drinking 2 glasses of water, meditating, speaking affirmations, exercising for activation, visualizing and writing, followed by reading and high impact focus time. So working on something that you are truly passionate about, working on something that is really aligned with your mission. So this is a way we want to spend our mornings. And this is what we are here for today. And whether you say, oh, whether you say this is actually pretty much my morning routine and I want to optimize it a little bit, or whether you say, oh, this first negative example, this is actually where I am sometimes, no matter where you are, together you're going to improve it. And even a small improvement can make all the difference after all. So let's go further into it. So let's look at a few quotes of people of history. Benjamin Franklin said, "Early to bed and early to rise makes a man or a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise." I think that's a beautiful quote. Let's look at another one. Steve Jobs said, "Every morning I look in the mirror and ask, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today?" So this is what you can ask yourself every morning. So designing a day with intention instead of just going coincidentally into it. So setting intentions in the morning. And we have another one here of Tony Robbins. And I personally love this one. And it's also quite funny. If you don't have 10 minutes for yourself in the morning, you don't have a life. And there is something true about it, because we do so many things that other people propose us. But then really taking a few minutes for ourselves. A lot of people say, I don't have the time for that. But if we look at it consciously, we actually have so much time that we can make for it. So let's look at another quote here, again from Benjamin Franklin. "Take excellent care of the front of your day, and the rest of your day will much take care of itself. Own the morning, elevate your life. And the idea here is if you set the bar higher in the morning, the bar will remain high all day. You set an intention, you activate your focus. And with this focus, you will just pick up the right pieces of information the whole day. And I also want to illustrate this here to you in a graphic. So let's say here on the vertical axis, you have outcomes, mood, results. And on the horizontal axis, you have time. It's a very simple graphic. So this one is without a morning routine. This is when you just jump into the day, scrolling through social media, snoozing the alarm without any intention. And with a morning routine, again, you can level it up. You can level up the entire day because you will remain on that scale. And the beauty of it is now imagine there is some kind of, you are here and there is some kind of problem coming up, which is here. You're always going to be bigger than this problem. And how many of you would agree that there are oftentimes problems coming along, right? So there might be interruptions, there might be influences from the outside. So we want to be bigger than those problems. And this is what these routines are very crucial for. So I am pretty confident that we are now all pretty motivated to jump into routines and really optimize them. And I want to ask you, why do you want to level up your morning and evening routine? So, what is the reason why you came to this class? And I want to kindly ask you to just write it into the chat, some thoughts, some reflection, why you showed up tonight, why you want to level up your morning routine. So, please write into the chat and we're going to read some answers here. So, what's your intention? What's your why for showing up? So, Julia says you want to have enough time for everything. Yes. So, making the time for what is important, increase my morning discipline and focus. We also have more productivity to feel better about yourself. Yes. To have energy for the rest of the day, to start in a good step. I feel like it would help me to be more productive during the day and include other healthy habits before starting the day. Beautiful as well. I have too many things I want to do in the morning, but not enough time. How can I prioritize? So I hope we can answer a lot of these questions along the session. And if questions remain, we can answer them. And we also have here to get improved learning ability and meditation. So we have a lot of amazing reasons and more coming in. And thank you for sharing those. And I think we can all even inspire each other here in this group. And this is also what you're going to be able to do in the WhatsApp group in the next days. All right. So let's look into it. I'm excited to start. I'm very excited to start. So let's look at common obstacles. What have been blockers for you in the past for not doing a morning routine consistently? So you can reflect for yourself. What may have been some excuses that you brought up for yourself that it didn't work out? And I just mentioned a few common ones here. These are, for example, I don't have enough time, or I am just not a morning person. I would, yeah, you are a morning person, but I'm just not a morning person. Or I constantly lose the motivation. I just cannot motivate myself. And just to give you some, I don't want to say quick fixes, but some different perspective on this. You could start with a 10 minutes version and eliminate time wasters. So you could start very small. And even those 10 minutes make a big difference. I'm not a morning person. Well, if you gradually shift your bedtime earlier, get up earlier in the morning, your inner rhythm will also adjust. It's just a matter of a few days and your inner rhythm will naturally adjust. And also connecting with your deeper why, tracking the progress and finding an accountability partner. This can keep your energy, this can keep your motivation up. And I think we have, through this masterclass and through the next 7 days, we have all of this for you. So you can really make your own breakthrough, whatever it looks like for you. So I already said this is going to be a very interactive session. And we are doing it in this format for the first time. So fingers crossed it's going to work out, but it's well prepared. So I'm pretty confident. And what I will do in a second, I will post a dashboard into the chat. And I want to ask you to open that dashboard. So it's in the chat now. Please open the dashboard. If you don't have access to any computer now, if it doesn't work on your phone, you can do that later on. Then please listen carefully. But if you have a chance, please open that spreadsheet now. On the first page, please put your name, first of all, into any of those numbers. So since you have your number, you can now open the sheet. You can open the tab with your number. You see that on the bottom. Yes, you see that on the bottom. So open your own individual tab. It's going to look somehow like this. And then you can put your name here. So let's say my name is Tilman. I put it here. And what you can see here is your tracking system that you're going to use in the next days. Now, we are just starting with the session, by the way, but I can already show you the tracking system you're going to use. You can say, I completed the morning routine, I completed a basic routine, I completed it partially, or I did not complete it. You can say that here. The same about your evening routine. And you can also say if you got up on time or if you didn't get up on time in the morning. If you went to bed too late, you can indicate all of this here. So you can track yourself for the entire week. And yes, you will have access later on. We will also share the session as quickly as possible, so you can do this later on. So now I want to ask you to write down your as is morning routine and your as is evening routine. And there are two versions here. Actually, it's enough if you just write down one version, and it's just to capture some kind of reflection. So write down your existing morning routine and write down your existing evening routine. And those who don't have access to the dashboard, just write it down on your phone so you can later on easily paste it into the table. And I'm going to put on some music again, but a bit more quiet. And you're going to have 3 minutes to write down your existing routine. So write down something for your morning routine and for your evening routine. It could also be something that you want to change, that you want to get rid of. Of course, it could also be something that is already going very well. Taking 1 more minute. All right, and you can slowly finish. We will give you a bit more time later on when you can write down your new routines. All right, so let's come back here to the main room. Thank you for writing down, for interacting so far. So with this, now you captured your own routine. How many of you are excited now to hear about some best practices from bright minds? And I want to start this with a little story. So 2 days ago, I had an overnight flight. So I flew back from the US to Germany, and I was very, very, very hungry. And in the evening, they were serving food, and I was super hungry. And I thought, okay, I really want to eat something, but I knew exactly 20 minutes after eating, they will shut off the light, and then it's time to sleep. And I know exactly that after eating, the sleep quality won't be as good. So, with my habits, with my disciplines, with my principles, I resisted the food, which I would say 90% of other passengers did not do. So, the consequence is that I had a very good sleep, that I had a very good rest because I didn't eat right before sleeping. And this is just one example, and I will share many of those best practices with you right now. And we are going to actually start with the morning routine. So let's go through some fundamentals. Fundamental number one is to get up early. Get up with the first alarm. So don't press on snooze. It actually has a negative effect on your level of energy in the morning. We recommend to get up before 6 a.m. Some people say ideally even very, very early, like 4:30. For that, of course, you also have to go to bed early. But I would say, as a general guidance, just get up early. Whatever the time is for you now, maybe consider to get up earlier, ideally before 6 a.m. The second best practice is make your bed right after getting up. So create some order. And this is also a way to activate yourself and to create order in your life, in your mind. The next one is drink 1 or 2 glasses of warm water. And sometimes I think, should I really mention this? Isn't it too obvious? But too often I see that people are just not doing it. They are just not hydrating themselves in the morning. And our body loses water in the night, and water is just so important. And ideally, warm water, because this is best for the body. Next, as a rule, no WhatsApp or social media in the first hour after getting up. Now, this is also an obvious one, but again, I would argue that probably 80% of people, first thing they would scroll through social media. So by not doing it, you make already a big, big difference for yourself. Another one is keeping a clean stomach during your morning routine. So no breakfast in the first hours after getting up. Now, there are different maybe philosophies or ways of looking at this. Personally, I practice intermittent fasting. Whether you practice intermittent fasting or not, so whether you have a limited feeding window, so to say, I would argue even if you want to enjoy breakfast, don't get it right after getting up. Give your body some time to get grounded, to arrive into the day. So don't have breakfast during your morning routine. Give yourself some time. The next one is a successful morning starts in the previous evening with a good quality sleep. And we're going to look into practices how you can actually maximize the quality of your sleep. And also choose a distraction-free environment, whatever that is for you. And I know some of you may have different circumstances. So whatever these circumstances are, try to find some peaceful place for yourself in the morning. So with these 7 principles, let us look into a sequence that we propose. So this sequence, and you can pick the elements that sound good for you, it starts with priming. How many of you have heard of priming before? Maybe some of you who have joined other formats or seminars from me. So priming is a way to combine breathing, gratitude, healing, feeling contribution, and visualizing outcomes, visualizing the future. And there is a video that I'm going to share with you, which is very powerful, which I sometimes do every day. Sometimes I do it once, twice per week. It's such a source of energy and clarity. I can really recommend it. It takes 15 minutes. The next one is writing. So writing down things you are grateful for, writing down top outcomes, writing down an intention for the day, and potentially also a plan. And I'm going to give you some more detailed guidance on each of those points in a moment. The next one is affirmations. So affirming your ideal self. And this could be something about your identity. This could be something about the way you look at the world, the way you feel. We're also going to give you some examples. And combining those, so combining the affirmations and then the exercise, it really gets all of this into your body. So this is very powerful. Then breathing. So doing a little bit of breath work, reminding yourself about the importance of the breath. And then manifestation, visualizing. And I'm actually going to share with you another video, but I will do that as a follow-up of a beautiful manifestation exercise. I have one for the day, also for the evening. So envisioning and visualizing the future ahead. So let's look into those points in detail. So the first one I recommend you is the priming by Tony Robbins. So in those next days, I encourage you at least to try it out 1 or 2 or 3 times and then post into the WhatsApp group, how did you feel when you did the priming exercise? Just one quick instruction because you do not see it in the video. At the beginning, you're going to do 3 sets of 30 breathing. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. So every time you lift your arms up, you breathe in, arms down, you breathe out. You don't open your mouth, everything with the nose. So, and this is the beginning of that. And the rest is just, I would say, a guided meditation with breathing. But the beginning, you got to remember this. So the next part is writing. So I already mentioned those points. Setting a daily intention. And this intention can be a little bit vague. Like I want to create a strategy today to design my new application. Or I want to get clarity on my project. In this way, you are open to receiving a lot of signals. But what you can also do in addition is defining your top 3 outcomes, right? So your top 3 outcomes for the day. And then what am I willing to give to others today? Maybe today you want to give a lot of attention, you want to give a lot of understanding, or you want to give some leadership to others. Next, what are 3 things that I'm most grateful for right now? And you may have similar things every day, or you may have some variation in this. And what do I value that another person does for me? What do I value that another person? So gratitude to another person. And another one, what am I happy about right now? So activating your mind to look for things that you are happy about. Also a beautiful way. So this is about writing. We still have some things to cover. So let's move on. About the daily affirmations. So does anybody of you do affirmations in the morning actually? Please raise your hand or write yes into the chat just to get a picture how many of you are actively using affirmations already. So I guess some of you are. No, maybe 50%. Typically in a room, like between 30 and 50% are using affirmations on weekend only. Okay, so it's very powerful because it's a chance to see yourself in your full light, to appreciate who you are, and to start your day with grace and intention. And some of the ones that I use, and I sometimes I take things to an extreme, but I always say in a playful way. So I would do some exercise to be activated, then I would record my voice, then I would listen to them and speak them at the same time. And I'll also move when I'm doing this. And in this way, it really gets into the body. So just a few examples here. Every day in every way, I'm feeling better and better. Everything works out for me. There is unlimited love inside of me and around me. I am so lucky. I light up every room that I come into. The next one is about yourselves. I am an outstanding leader. I am a loving wife or partner. I am a person who works out. I am amazing. I am confident in myself. I shine brightly in all I do. And so these are some examples, but in a moment I'm going to ask you to come up with your own set of affirmations. And for now, also in your sheet, or if you're not on your computer, write it down on your phone. Just write down 3 affirmations for yourself that you feel could be helpful for you. And you can use something that you see here, and you can also come up with your own ones. And So while you are writing down, let me also get back to the um, questions in the chat. So saying it requires some self-esteem and confidence. I would say also by doing it, you increase and activate your self-esteem and confidence. Of course, there might be some other things impacting your confidence and self-esteem. And this is where we could look into different aspects. So I would say one way is always to emphasize the good thing, to focus more on the good thing, to be to activate that state more. But in some cases, it makes sense to look into some situations of the past or into something, into some part inside of ourselves, maybe that is not so confident, that wants to be heard, held, or heard. That we can do in coaching sessions or in other kind of formats. We also do such formats. Um, yeah. But the takeaway here is on, really by emphasizing the beautiful side, you can already make progress to become a more self-confident person. And another one, I think it's better to think in mind than to talk it out loud. Absolutely, there are different ways to do this, and each of you can do this individually. All right. Well, I hope you all wrote down some affirmations, and you can write down more later on, and especially in the next days, you will have opportunities to do that every morning. So let's move on to the next one, to the next part. So the next part is here, morning exercise. And that's a very, very powerful one as well. And I want to say this, you don't have to do a sophisticated workout that takes 30 or 60 minutes. This one that I show you here takes 7 minutes, and it's a great activation. Sometimes I even only do 100 push-ups. I only do one thing that activates me. The advantage when you do this, it's kind of a rounded exercise. So it starts with a warm up, doing jumping jacks like this, doing high knees, so like this, and then doing arm cycles to the front and to the back. In this way, you warm up your body. What you can do then is the so-called Tabata workout. So you do 2 rounds of push-ups, squats, Superman holds, and sit-ups. And you can check on Spotify Tabata playlists. It's 4 minutes. Everybody has 4 minutes in the morning for such a small exercise. And then you can do stretching. So the classical one is left, right, to the back, and to the front. And you can also do some yoga, cobra, and downward dog in your morning exercise. So this is the 3-step approach to exercise that we recommend. All right, then moving on. And of course, whatever exercise or activation is right for you, just include some element of physical activation. That's the takeaway. Now let's get to breathing. And for breathing, there is a very simple technique called box breathing. So there are 4 steps, and they are really, really simple. And each step takes 4 seconds. It's inhaling slowly through your nose on the count of counting to 4, holding, counting to 4, exhaling slowly through the mouth, also counting to 4, holding the stillness for 4 seconds, and then again breathing in through the nose. And we can just do that 2 times, and we try to synchronize it a little bit. Just do it for yourself, starting by breathing in for 4 seconds. So I wonder, how do you feel right now? Do you notice anything differently? Do you already feel a bit more calm? So I do, even after 2 repetitions. It's very powerful. And I embrace the power of the pause. It's also a way to just pause and embrace the silence. So that's the breathing part. And of course, you can do it anytime during the day. Now let's look at manifestation and visualization. And I want to give you the theory here, and you can also apply it in any time. And thank you, Julia, for commenting, feeling calmer and the mind gets clearer. Yes. So the visualization manifestation process, you start by setting an intention. So choosing a specific goal or outcome that you desire. Second, you engage all of your senses. So visualize it vividly and feel the emotions that if it is happening. So you can close your eyes to do that and see what you see, hear what you hear, and feel what you feel. Really be in that moment. Because our mind cannot really distinguish what we vividly imagine and what actually happens. You probably remember moments when there is a new task in front of you and you may have some reluctance to do it. But after doing it one or two times, it seems quite easier, right? Because you have the experience. And the same you can just do in your mind. You can have this build this experience in your mind. Top athletes do it. You can do it also to build these reference experience, to manifest, to visualize, and to bring this into your reality. And again, here the third step, experience is as it is already real. Now, here are just 3 additional things you can consider for your morning routine. The first one is fast running, a fast run outdoor. I sometimes do that. So run as fast as I can for 15 minutes. Another one is after the routine or as part of your routine, do time to create. So whatever your purpose is, your mission, the project you are working on, or even spending time with your beloved ones. So creating moments, but taking the time to create rather than being controlled by somebody else in the morning. And also taking time to read. And just in that way, you can think of additional elements you want to include into your morning routine, or you want to do right after your morning routine. You can write them down today. And my sincere wish is that you implement any of these just a little bit more, and it can make a huge difference for yourself and for the people around you. With this, let's now look at the evening ritual. So best practices for evening routines by bright minds. So how to prepare? The first rule is no caffeine in the afternoon, ideally not at all. Personally, I like my occasional espresso, so I do drink coffee, but at least not in the afternoon, at least not after 2 p.m. Also be very careful with green or black tea because the caffeine spike is not so high, but it lasts quite longer in your body. And let's say you can still fall asleep, but maybe it affects your quality of sleep. And I want you to have the best possible quality of sleep. The second one is not eating in the 3 hours before sleeping. And I cannot emphasize this often enough because so many times I hear people saying, oh, I have to eat something now. I cannot go to bed when I'm hungry. It's not possible for me. I need to eat something now. If we look at it from a different perspective, the human can survive, I think, like 20 or 30 days without food. And don't take this as a medical advice, please, if we have enough water. But it's really not necessary to eat before sleeping. So I want you to be conscious about ideally not eating before sleeping because it affects the quality of your sleep. Also, don't use the phone in your evening routine. Ideally, 1 hour before sleeping, stop using your phone. Now, even if you don't use it for 15 minutes before you go to bed, it already has a very strong effect. Just avoid laying in bed and looking at your phone. Really avoid that. Phone on airplane mode, only turning it back on after the morning routine. And dim the light and avoid blue light. And this is also a very important one. So I have these blue light filter glasses. This one is a 70% blue light filter glass, and I also have a 99% blue light filter glass. So sometimes I use this one because the other one makes me fall asleep too quickly, but sometimes I use the red one, the 99%, and it makes me very sleepy because if the blue light is missing, my body produces hormones that make me fall asleep. If I consume blue light is also on screens, but blue light can also be the light in your room. Then it produces hormones that keeps me awake. So it's stimulating the body. So this is very, very important. All right, so these are principles, do's and don'ts. And I also want to give you a clear guidance that we recommend. So first of all, I guess all of us are doing some kind of self-care, brushing teeth. And then when this is done, you can do journaling, writing down 3 wins of the day, 3 gains, 3 things that went well, feeling the gratitude, and also programming your mind to focus on the good things. But also, there are things that maybe didn't work out, which are amazing lessons learned. You can reflect about them. So you know one more approach that does not work and you can do it better the next day. And also tomorrow's top outcomes that you want to create. So what are the outcomes that you want tomorrow? Not what are the to-dos, what are the outcomes? And then reading for 5 to 10 minutes. It's also a great way to relax the mind, and you can nurture your brain, you can nurture your mind before going to bed. And then very powerful visualization, manifestation until you fall asleep. And there is a very beautiful video that I'm going to share with you. And actually, at the end of the session, we can listen to it together to end the session with. And then you can transition into the evening. It's just 4 minutes, and you can watch it anytime on YouTube. We will put it on later in the session. And you can think of your own elements for your own individual evening, evening reflection. So now, after learning about all of this, we can transition to the routine design, which is probably the most fun part of the session. So the first thing you can reflect about, and you see this in your sheet. So what is the sleep time that you commit to? How many minutes before the sleep time do you want to go to bed? And what is the time you want to get up in the morning? You can put whatever time is appropriate for you. You can put it here. So actually the 4 are, okay, my new sleep time is what time going to bed, what time you actually go to bed, maybe 1 hour before you don't use your phone, and you can say, I get up in the morning at 5. So the other thing you're going to fill out is write down what your morning routine is going to look like. So which kind of morning routine do you want to stick to in the next days? And you can do that right now. You can start doing it. You have 5 minutes. And I encourage you to write down something in every section. And obviously, after the class, you can take more time to refine it. So taking 5 minutes now to start working. All right, so please finish up and you can take more time after the session if you want to. I'm sure we have a lot of very powerful morning and evening routines right now in the dashboard, and more to come in the evening tonight when you get back on your computer. So with this, I want to invite you to join our accountability group where we will support each other in the next days and also celebrate the wins that we achieve. We will have two more sessions. We will have one check-in session during the week, and we have one celebration session next week. So let me also post this in the chat to make it easy for you. So you can join our WhatsApp group here. You can also join the personal development community on LinkedIn. Actually, we are announcing a lot of events there. We also have external speakers. We will also publish an application in the next weeks that is very powerful, that can help you stay on track with a lot of things. So I can encourage you to follow, but for now, especially to join our accountability group. All right, so here is the link to the WhatsApp group. You should have it in the chat right now. So while you are now joining the WhatsApp group, and before we start with our beautiful 4 minutes meditation to wrap up the session, I just quickly want to show you, again, here is where you can track your progress. So I encourage you to track your progress every day, right? So you can ideally create a green week or a mostly green week for yourself, and you can share these achievements. The check-in call is going to be on the 20th of June. It's Friday at 7 a.m., so it's quite early in the morning. And the celebration call is going to be next Monday from 6 o'clock. I think we're actually going to just take 30 minutes, but we block some more time in case we need more. And there you can also share your experiences. You can ask your questions. If you want to do more with Bright Minds, if you like this session, if you want a one-to-one coaching, or if you want to join one of our groups, I can encourage you to consider joining the Success Habits program. That's an 8-week coaching program, a very powerful one where we go through all the 5 steps of success habits. And we have an empowering group that really sticks together, lifting up themselves and working on their goals together. We also do on-site workshops, which you can see here, communication workshops, success habits workshops. And we're going to offer more formats in the future as well. Always really engaging the audience. We also do this for companies, for businesses. So if you are interested in any of this, you can book a call. I will also post this in the chat. I think the next weeks are quite booked, but you can also anytime write an email to us and we will get back to you. So with this, I want to really thank you for being here. Maybe one more thing. What I can also recommend is a so-called Success Mindset Maps assessment. And there is a so-called health scan that gives really a good perspective on your mindset. It's like a personality test, but focusing on your mindset. It's developed by Robert Dilts, one of the NLP co-founders, and I'm a certified coach for that as well. So with this, again, I want to thank you for joining. You created just 60 minutes space for your own growth. You could have spent this time in a different way, but you decided to spend this time to learn, to be open for inspirations. And it's not just what I said, it's also the ideas that went on in your mind while I was speaking, while we were creating this energy here in the group. So I sincerely want to thank you for that, for having such an amazing group. I hope to have you in the next days in the WhatsApp group, and please also regularly post how did your morning routine go. I will do the same myself. I have a very busy schedule these days, but anyway, I try to really to stay up to this and also be a very encouraging part in this group. With this, let me actually put on the video that I promised you. So this one is from Julia Gjelak. She's also doing sessions sometimes. She's an amazing manifestation coach, and you can just listen to her and enjoy.
I will also play some music. And this is particularly effective because your subconscious mind is most receptive in those moments between wakefulness and sleep. And I'll explain you the process first, and then we'll try it out together. You need to first get comfortable in your bed, then take 3 deep breaths to center ourselves. Next, bring to mind your desire as if it's already achieved. Feel the emotions in your body as you imagine this reality. And finally, let yourself drift off to sleep, holding these positive feelings. So you can slowly close your eyes and just listen to my voice. Find yourself a comfortable position. And allow your body to relax and your mind to become present. What if you could already experience your best future every time you fall asleep? What if you could fall asleep each day as your best, highest self and direct your dreams and reflections during the night? No matter how much money you have, what you achieved, or where you are in life, every night you find yourself in the same place, lying in a dark room with your eyes closed, just you and your thoughts. And in that moment, there is no difference between the version of yourself you aspire to be and who you are right now. You have the power to connect with that version of yourself and feel as though you've already become them. Imagine your perfect day as that future self. See every detail clearly. How you feel, what you've accomplished, and the love and connection you share with others. Let yourself truly experience the joy, fulfillment, and peace that comes with living that ideal life. Because here's the truth. You already are that person. The only step is aligning with their energy and mindset. Feel this deeply and allow it to guide you as you fall asleep. This isn't just about visualizing, it's about experiencing. Let yourself release the emotions tied to your dreams, feeling the pride, peace, and fulfillment of already living them. In this state of alignment, you will fall into a peaceful sleep, waking up closer to the version of yourself you've always dreamed of being. Take a moment to appreciate yourself for dedicating this time to your well-being. Carry this sense of calm and awareness with you as you continue with your evening. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll your shoulders and neck if that feels good. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes.
How many of you feel a little bit more relaxed right now? And this is really to remind you each evening to fall asleep with consciousness, manifesting, visualizing your ideal future, giving yourself that gift, because these are the thoughts that are gonna be in your subconscious mind in the evening, and your subconscious mind works for you. So in that way, you let the subconscious mind really work for you in the night. So again, thank you. I wish you a beautiful evening, and we will be in touch in the WhatsApp group in those next days. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Bye.
Okay, loco, loco. All right, boy. Here we go. 'Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm going